the river. 16 million people trying to get rich in New Shanghai. This is a city that has lived, died, and now lives again. Today, it's one of China's richest cities, but to see it at its best, you need only pay 30 cents to cross the Huangpu River on the cheapest ride in town. When I first came here in 1993, Shanghai had a spectacular riverfront vista known as the Bund, crammed with the grand European buildings of last century. Today, the city reaches outwards and upwards as its leaders plot Shanghai's transformation into a 21st century metropolis.
我们也研究了世界上一些大城市，像那个巴黎啊、那个纽约啊、东京啊。上海作为一个现代化的大都市，我们有非常宏伟的目标，要成为国际的经济、金融、贸易和航运中心。
But a city is more than skyscrapers and infrastructure. It's also its people. And not all of Shanghai's people share the grand vision. In the 30s, when Old Shanghai, a foreign treaty port, was in its prime, the city was flooded with foreigners and their money. Many Chinese, like the Europeans, became rich. And the traditional Chinese dress, the qipao, became a hallmark of style.
阿拉这个小辰光啦，来上海来了，是10几岁辰光了。
Master Zhu Hongsheng, now in his 80s, was drawn to the city as a tailor's apprentice for the burgeoning qipao trade.
这辰光呢，有钞票了，都是那种，我们也去靠他们拿做起生活来，他不是一件两件做的，他做起来好多好多，那个季节好像，钞票好像在我们这个地价了。
From its heady days of style and commerce, the city fell into decline. First came the Japanese invasion.
In Shanghai, as in Spain, the streets that formerly were used for peaceful trade and transport now tremble beneath the rumbling wheels of war.
Then the cosmopolitan city of wealth and decadence was finally crushed by communism.
政府有保卫国土、维护主权、保护人民的责任。
The city stagnated for 40 years until Deng Xiaoping decided to throw off the cobwebs and ordered the city to open up.
这几年的忍耐，骂了不还口。
For Master Zhu and the qipao, it meant life started all over again. Drawn out of retirement to meet the demand, he's never had it so good.
你阿拉种穷人家的出身个啦，搿是现在好。老早辰光旧社会啦是讲，穷人阿拉有种穷人家的人出来，这种做个低人一级了，是吧？侬就做喏，现在比是啥辰光地位勿同了，平等喏。
Shanghai's rebirth has attracted Chinese from all over the nation. They began flooding into a city they believed could work miracles. One of them was Mary Gu.
Nice little area, not too many people. Normally, this is an area like for people like me.
What does that mean?
Our age, not like those teenagers, people who make a reasonable salary. It's a big city,
Mary Gu is in her 30s and works for one of Shanghai's many foreign-managed luxury hotels.
I came to Shanghai in 1990. Before that, I was living in my hometown all my life. And I was always fascinated by the lifestyle of Shanghainese. They live a very busy life. You know, everything is very fast. They think Shanghai is the best place to live in the world.
This is one of the new shopping precincts which have sprung up to cater for the new middle class, people like Mary Gu. 2 years ago, the scale of construction was so huge, it was said Shanghai had 1/4 of the world's construction cranes. Mary says it won't take long before the city becomes an international player, simply because of a can-do mentality.
They know they can do better than other cities in China. And I think people were going through that stage that they becoming to realize they have to be more flexible, more resourceful, and try a little bit harder to be successful.
But in the headlong rush to build more shops and offices, most of Old Shanghai is being flattened, and old residents aren't happy. Bei Nian Zhang and her family live in an incredible mansion bought by her grandfather in 1911. She has fond memories of growing up here.
还有呢，夏天呢，我们家特别凉快，因为大。那么我们喜欢呢，就是赤脚啊，在这个地上走，玩，很那个。童年给我的印象是很愉快的。有几个呢，头呢，文革的时候呢，没有了，我们后来呢就把它再装上去。
对，我可以看到。
这个全是补上去。
In China today, it would be rare for even senior leaders to live in a home as opulent as this. The house was considered to be of such heritage value that some years ago it was granted a protection order. But as Miss Bei shows me, the rush for development is now so strong, the city has changed its mind. The family home stands in the middle of a demolition zone. It's part of a proposed greenbelt that's already well advanced. In fact, the Bei family home is the only thing still standing in what not so long ago was a quiet residential suburb.
要拆掉这个楼啊，我就感到很痛心的。现在如果是确认就是不被保护了，我们也要求合情合理解决。你也给我们有一个明确的说法，我们是这个样，是这样对待的。
But a visit to Shanghai's Urban Planning Institute doesn't hold much promise. The institute has a visual display of the city government's vision of tomorrow's Shanghai. Thousands come here hoping to find their own few millimetres of space still intact. This is the Greenbelt where Miss Bei's house is now located. But Miss Bei's house isn't there. Chief Engineer Huang Jiming says doubling the amount of greenery per person is a central planning priority. Just 500 historical buildings in all of Shanghai are scheduled for protection.
当然，我们原来城市有一些比较破旧的房子，包括我们前阶段做了有300多万、360多万的那个就棚户简卧。那么这个随着城市的发展、功能的发展呢，这些东西呢就是要撤除。
Shanghai's transformation into an international trade hub is certainly startling. When I first came here in 1993, Pudong, east of the river, was little more than a giant paddy field. Today, it's full of sprawling foreign-managed factories and largely empty skyscrapers. But Chief Engineer Huang believes these won't take long to fill.
就是我们要建设 国际的经济、金融、贸易和航运中心之一，做我们规划的目标。但是呢，就是在这个国际大都市的建设过程当中呢，我们觉得就是生活在这个城市上的人，工作在这个城市当中的国内外的市民，应该有一个非常好的那个环境，就是要围绕以人为本，就以人为中心了。就是我们的城市是要为市民服务的。
You don't have to stray too far to see that not everyone supports or prospers from such a rapid evolution.
他们拆房子，公交叫他拆房子嘛就断掉了。
Like the Bay family, Madam Chen has found the city planners didn't have room for her home.
房子呢是拆的嘛，我开井，用井水，7毛钱瓶的水喝的茶，10块钱的一瓶呢，一个月吃到3瓶水，苦了，那不是把它弄得苦了很，把它。
Already, the other 94 families in the area have been moved out. Madam Chen, now widowed, says her family, all former state workers who are now unemployed, can't survive without the rent from the 4 houses they owned in this block.
就跟我房子们讲的，拆四换四，就不要付房钱，外区只要付电灯、自来水。我随便他怎么变化也好，跟你讲的，买菜嘛带来些点垃圾些也硬不吃，我总归苦住啊，我不偷不抢，有啥办法了？
I think maybe it's a little bit too aggressive because I know, maybe we have a goal in a couple of years. We want to be this or we want to be that, either New York in Asia or the second Hong Kong, something like that. But I think one thing that is important is the people who live here, whether they are ready for that or not. I can see some of the old people, they miss the old part of Shanghai and they don't want to see that going away.
Shanghai may be able to build enough to impress international investors and create a new group of winners in its march towards economic progress. But for the losers in the game plan, the benefits offered by this government may take some time to filter down through the heavy hand of state control. For me, the new Shanghai still holds on to too many vestiges of the old communist era, suspicious of criticism and an unequal power balance between the government and the governed.